So in this video, I want to step away a little bit from men's style, even though I'm wearing a suit today. It's December already, the first days of December, and I figured this might be a good opportunity, to look back at what I learned this year, all the lessons that have come into my life, things that I have finally realized after many years, and things that I have discovered in general. So without further ado, let me get started with the first lesson that 2024 has taught me. So the first lesson that 2024 has taught me is that consistency isn't glamorous, but it's really the key to everything. After many tries at attempting to do things that are important to me and my life and my goals, I have come to realize that, and it's a negative thing in a way, that I have not been consistent in many of my goals and things that I really want to do in my life. I just see the years go by, and it's really sad to look back and realize, man, I could have done so much. I could have been really consistent. I could have really committed to what I want to do. And the fact that I have not done that has been eye-opening. And for once, or at least that's what I tell myself, for once, I can see clearly that I have to be consistent with all these goals that I have, with all these achievements that I want to have in my life. If I'm not consistent, if I don't stick to it, if I don't go through the difficulties that come with these goals, I'm just going to keep failing. And I guess that happens to every one of us, right? Suddenly you have to realize that you have to be consistent and you have to commit to what you want to do. If you don't commit and if you are inconsistent, no matter how motivated you may feel, no matter how much you really believe that you're going to do or accomplish those goals that you have, consistency is always going to be the key. And I would say 2024 is the year when I opened my eyes to the fact that if I'm not consistent, I'm just going to fail. So now the next lesson is stop waiting. Change will happen when you decide to change things, when you decide to make change happen. Waiting, that's the thing that I do so much, and I have been doing it all my life. This YouTube channel, I have been waiting for the right time to go back to making videos, to recording videos, to talk about things that are important to me, to talk about topics that I want to share with you, with my community, even if it's small. I have been waiting for the perfect time. I have been waiting for something or someone to tell me, do it now. Why have I been waiting on all these different things that I want to do and things that I want to take action on? And I hope this message comes across to you as well. If you have one idea, one business idea, if you want to talk to someone that you're interested in, if you want to look for another job, whatever it is that you have in mind and you are really feeling inside of you really passionate about that thing that you want to do, please don't wait. I'm going to be 40 next year, and I cannot, it really makes me feel very disappointed in myself to realize that maybe I'm waiting until I'm 40 to take action on many things that I want to do. It's really hard. It's a hard pill to swallow. It really is. But the fact that I'm here talking to you about it freely and kind of, I'm talking to myself as well as I'm making this video. And don't mess it up. 2024 has taught you not to wait. Take action now. So the next one is pain is inevitable, but the only way out is through. On 2024, I lost my dog, Sophie. I loved her so much. And it was so difficult, not only to lose her, that was heartbreaking, and it is still heartbreaking to me to think about it, but watching her go through the process of even dealing with some pain and suffering, it was terrible. It was an awful experience. And even though I have all these beautiful memories that I always go back to, and those always bring a big smile to my face, but that process of dealing with her loss and a few months of going to the doctors, to the vet, and watching her health decline little by little, It was awful, but it has been a few months, and it was extremely painful. I will put it that way. The way the heart hurts, it's it's unbearable, really. And yet, here I am, a few months later, with the beautiful memories, the beautiful images in my head that I'll never forget them. I can see that no matter how difficult some things could seem, no matter how painful some things are, eventually, if you go through it and you learn how to deal with it, and you have a good support system, especially an inner support system, where you have that inner drive to keep going, to get over those problems and those difficulties or sad situations, eventually you will come out of it. I'm not saying you're going to come out feeling better, but you are really going to come out of it. And I know that when things go wrong, when I'm feeling pain, I'm feeling sad, I'm feeling like there's no light at the end of the tunnel, that's just the feelings and the emotions of the moment. But eventually I know that I can be stronger than those feelings, and I'll come out stronger with more experience and more tools to know how to handle those difficult, sad, very sad moments. So thank you, 2024, for this hard hitting lesson. The next one is you can be whoever you want, but you should always be yourself. In 2024 was a year when I realized that the not the best version of myself, but my version of myself, the person that I want to be, the person that I am, is perfect in a way. I know that sounds a little bit strange, but in this day and age, and especially being someone on social media who is trying to build a following and get in touch with as many people as you possibly can, it is so damn easy to adjust your true personality, your true identity, to try to fit with what social media or society or people around you, people you trust perhaps, what they expect of you, what they tell you you should be. And it is insane to think that we are modifying our personalities and who we are as people based on what social media is telling you. And I was so stupid, listening to these experts or gurus in the world of social media of who you should be, how you should be, what type of messages, what type of voice you should be using. And I thought, well, these guys know what they are talking about, so I better be like those versions that they are selling. And it is so hard to realize that you're building a house that eventually is going to come down, is just going to crumble down to dust because it's not getting built on something authentic, on something real. And that starts messing with your mind, at least for me personally. So if you are in a similar situation, please beware. This is a caution tale of what could happen. It started messing with my mind of who am I really? Who is Ed? Who is Eduardo? Is this part of the social media person that I want to be, or is this really me? So this year, it has been amazing to realize that I'm perfect the way I am, and I'm full of imperfections. Don't even get me started. But I know that being myself is the best and the perfect version of myself, the perfect version of a person that I should be. Let's put it that way. And this year I learned that. So in a way, I don't even care about who I reach or who resonates with what I have to say. The only person that needs to resonate with my message, it's me. And if you want to come along for the ride, that's amazing. You're welcome, and I really appreciate it. But I'm not here to satisfy the needs or requirements from anybody else, really. Now, this next one is a little bit related, I would say, to the previous one. But this lesson that 2024 taught me is that depending on outside validation is a perfect recipe for misery. again, going back to the social media, and I would say even if you are not trying to build a following, to grow on social media, we are still influenced by social media anyway in so many different manners. We try to get that external validation from other people. But especially if you're doing something like what I'm trying to do, it is extremely easy to look for that external validation and kind of crave it. Whenever you're going to be sharing something on social media, whenever you're going to be posting something, or even outside social media, just in general, you expect people to give you that approval, to tell you that you're right, to tell you that you're worth, to tell you your value. And that's just a perfect recipe for misery. And I have been through it. And this was mostly a good friend of mine who told me, and I do appreciate how honest he was when he told me, you really seem to crave that external validation, and that's not good for you. And I was like, well, shut up, that's not true. But it is true. And it's a little bit disappointing to myself to realize that I have allowed all these things to take me to that point where I feel like I'm not doing a good job if somebody else is not validating my worth. But now I can see it clearly, and I have even disengaged a little bit from social media, and not even a little bit, a lot, especially from Instagram. And eventually, I will make a video talking about those pain points that come from Instagram to our self perception, because I think it's really terrible what could happen. But I made the conscious decision to step away a little bit. Like, this is not doing me a lot of good. I need to find that validation within myself again. And I'm starting to build it up, build that self confidence. And I can be the person who can tell me how good of a job I'm doing and feel comfortable with that and trust that that's the case, that that evaluation of myself is absolutely right. And I don't need anybody else to tell me how good of a job I'm doing or how good of a person I am, really. It's not that I have completely left that behind. It still creeps in a little bit every now and then, but I'm learning to leave that behind and focus on what really matters for me, and that's me validating myself. Now, the next one, and I think this is the sixth lesson from 2024, is how crucial it is to recognize toxic people, toxic relationships, toxic environments. And I would say my personal life, my personal world can tend to be invaded by these toxic things. Sometimes I'm even toxic myself, and I have to learn how to identify when I'm falling into the trap of being that toxic person. I know I can be that person sometimes, but it is life changing when you start to recognize that there's people that you thought are 100% necessary in your life, even though they are toxic to you. And it's really not the case. You can always step away from it, step away from those people, step away from those relationships, those situations, those environments. It is very easy to fall into this trap. It's really a trap where you feel like this is normal. Dealing with all these things, with all these different toxic situations is normal. That's normal. I have to learn how to deal with it. Well, it's not normal. It really isn't. You have to find people that are helping you grow, helping you build your life, the life that you want to have, and have people around you can that you can be that person to them, not a toxic person, someone that will help them to reach their goals. And I would say the most difficult thing is to realize that there's some wolves in sheep's clothing, and that is where it really gets super hard to recognize. Is this just a situation, a normal difficult situation, or am I dealing with a toxic person or a toxic situation that is not doing me any good, and I should just run away from it as quickly as I can? But this year, 2024, I would say I have I have learned to recognize the toxicity in others and in situations. Not perfectly yet, but I'm growing. and I'm learning to identify. So thank you, 2024, for this experience. Now, number seven, stop wasting time and energy on superficial things. Oh man, this is difficult for me because I'm very superficial in a lot of ways. And it hurts, it pains me to admit it. A lot of things that we own, our possessions. I heard the other day or a few weeks ago somebody say that your possessions end up possessing you. And it sounds like a little bit stupid, but it's really not. Eventually, all the things you own, all these things and items and things that you buy, and the well, things you buy just to that don't even make you happy, things you buy that are just meant to send a message to other people of who you want to appear to be. And I get it why we do it. We are human after all, and we do look for that attention. But it it's really a lesson to be learned not to focus so much on it and find the true important things in life. And I really think that superficial things are not it. There's a lot more to this life than superficial and things and possessions and what car you drive or the brand of clothes that you have, how big of a house you have. Those things are, and especially after having gone through the loss of someone you love so much, you open your mind and see it clearly. All of this doesn't matter. So don't waste your time, don't waste your effort on any of these superficial things. It's really not worth it. So I'm drinking my coffee as well. You want some? This is a this is a mug that I got when I went to Barcelona. Now the next lesson that 2024 brought into my life is gratitude for those you love can change everything. We have people we love, and I really hope you have a lot of people that you love and people who love you. But it is so easy to take those people for granted. It is very sad when you have to go through difficult things to open your eyes and see that I should have been more grateful. I should have shown that gratitude freely, especially if you are like me, that I'm very reserved, I'm very shy and serious in many ways, and showing appreciation or showing love in a way, showing caring comes very difficult to me. That's not my nature. And and with the loss of my of Sophie, I wish I could have been more expressive in showing my affection. And the lesson that I'm learning from it is I should be more affectionate to those that I have around me and those that I love. And I'll tell you, this is a lesson for me in in paper, in theory, because I'm still struggling, and I think I will always struggle with being that close to people. But the lesson has been learned, or the seed has been planted in 2025. Is I'm hoping the year where I'm gonna feel more comfortable to be more affectionate to people, because internally I do feel the love, and I do feel that that hunger or that thirst. Maybe I'm hungry and thirsty. I should eat something or drink something, but I do feel it inside of me that I want to externalize it a little bit more. But for some reason, I find it very hard. So hopefully next year, I'm going to be able to change that. So stay tuned for that. Now, my next lesson that I got from 2024 is the impact you have on others matters much more, much more than you think. And with the goal that I have, to build this social media, to build my online presence in a way to try to influence more people and share the knowledge that I have, or just share my thoughts. I do receive a lot of messages from people, and it is so beautiful when people tell you, you motivated me, you pushed me to step out of my comfort zone, you have helped me to build a better wardrobe and feel better about myself. You have helped me build up my confidence, because I did receive a couple messages from people that they struggled a lot with confidence and feeling self worth, or self respect even. And when you think about it, and when you really analyze that impact that your actions or your words could have on others, and how not only are you sending a message, but you're actually sometimes even changing their lives completely, or changing one aspect of their lives with your actions. It's really amazing to think, and it's amazing, I'll tell you this, and it makes me feel very proud about what I do, and pushes me forward, and tells me in a way, you're doing something good is coming out of this. At the same time, you kind of start feeling a lot of responsibility, and even though that shouldn't be the case, because I don't feel like you should be responsible for what happens to other people and the decisions that they make. But if you are influencing some other people in a certain way, I can't help but feel like there's a certain core responsibility. Let's go with core responsibility, because I don't feel like I should have the entire responsibility. In a way, if you think about it, we are all influencing and impacting each other with what we do and what we say, and all the people that we come across. So we have to realize that there is an impact, and you can make the most out of it, or it could be something negative. So in this year, I have learned to be a little bit more, not careful, that wouldn't be the right word, but keep my mind open and my eyes open to what my actions and words could cause to other people. And finally, the last lesson that I learned on 2024, ladies and gentlemen, is that life is easier with short hair. I saved this one for last because it's not really something important. Well, it's kind of important, but I had my long hair for many years, 4 years actually, almost 5 years. It was super long, and I held on to it. I felt like it had become part of my personality in a way. So that was, even though I really wanted to cut it, I have been thinking about cutting my hair for years already. When I finally made the decision, and when I realized that I'm just doing it because I feel like it's part of my personality, and that's just extremely so stupid to think of it that way, to think of hair in that sense. It's just something that you can cut it and it'll grow back. And I'm so happy that I cut it. I love my short hair now, and all the different styles that I can try with short hair. And life is easier. You don't have to spend hours waiting for the hair to dry. You don't have to waste a lot of money on shampoo and conditioners and all these things. You don't have to deal with the heat, especially when you live in Mexico and it's super hot many months of the year. Now I can look back and tell myself, how stupid was I not to take action. And I'm not saying that everyone that has long hair should cut it, and not at all. But in my situation, when I had already considered it, and I just held on to it because I felt like I just couldn't do it, even though I wanted to do it. And that was so stupid, and I really regret it in a way. But it's the lesson that I learned, and there is no lesson to be learned if you don't regret anything. So life is definitely much easier with short hair, and I'll never go back to the long hair. That's another lesson, kind of related. Well, actually, I'm gonna take that back, because I used to have long hair many years ago, and I cut it. And I told myself back then, I'm never going back to the long hair. That was enough. That's not for me. Then I grew it long again, even longer than before. So who knows? You can never tell the future. But in a way, that was a lesson. I won't deny it. It was a lesson. Not a very a special one, not a very deep lesson that everyone can learn from, but it was a lesson nonetheless. So, friends, those were my 10 lessons that I learned during 2024, lessons that I hope will make me a better person, make me someone that can deal with different situations in a better way, and a person that will come out stronger of 2024. And who knows what will happen in 2025. I'm pretty sure many lessons will be learned. I'm going to keep you updated on every single thing that happens. And that's not true, because of course I'm just going to keep you posted on those things that are really important to you and to me. And I'm sure there were more lessons, but these are the ones that I could come up with quickly. But I think these were good ones, and the fact that these are the ones that came to me while preparing for this video, it tells me that they were important in a way, and that they have impacted my life in a good or bad way. But they have really changed me and helped me grow in 2024. Now, I want to finish this video by asking all of you, what was the one great lesson that 2024 taught you? The great lesson that came to your life after these last 12 months of 2024. I really want to know. So thank you for watching this video. I really mean it. I really mean it. Whenever I say thank you for watching this video, I say it because I really mean it. Thank you, and I'll see you soon.